Spend the day fighting crime through the eyes of Dick Grayson. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Nightwing issue number 105 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, everyone. So you remember a couple volumes back we had that special story that was essentially one unbroken take a la Scorsese? Well, we got another fun, creative concept for this issue too. Basically, the entire thing happens in the first-person perspective of Dick Grayson. I know what you're thinking. Wait, does that mean we don't actually see Nightwing in this Nightwing issue? No, that just means they get really clever with reflective surfaces. As Dick wakes up from a night of crime fighting alongside Barbara, he ends up getting an absolutely manic call from his mayor's sister Melinda. Apparently a dangerous bioweapon has been stolen, and now only Nightwing and Batgirl can get it back before it leaves the Blüdhaven city limits. Dick and Barbara quickly suit up and spring into action. Along the way, we discover that Dick is something of an expert on Blüdhaven public transport, mainly because he spends so much time riding on train tops than he does jumping from roof to roof, which, yeah, I guess he does actually do that a lot, doesn't he? Together, Nightwing and Batgirl manage to quickly corner one of the weapon thieves. Turns out it's actually a familiar face, one of the sisters that make up the duo known as Double Dare. Right away, though, Dick starts to realize that not a lot of this is adding up right now. Double Dare are usually never far apart from one another, and also there doesn't seem to be any dangerous bioweapon on them. As we discover, Mayor Melinda Zuko was going off some bad information. Double Dare didn't steal a bioweapon. What they actually stole was a vaccine that was destined for Blüdhaven, that nation that Count Vertigo is sometimes in charge of, meant to cure an outbreak of a West Nile-style disease that is ravaging the nation. As Aleki here explains, her and her sister were actually meant to steal the vaccine from the one and only American pharmaceutical company, Shelton Pharmaceuticals, that was making the cure, while also extorting Blüdhaven and other nations an extreme markup to have access to the vaccine. In fact, as we learn, the vaccine is in Aleki herself. She needs to get it back to Blüdhaven so they can start rolling out the cure for regular people. The only problem is her sister Margot got herself captured. This revelation, of course, puts Nightwing and Batgirl in a rather interesting situation right now. They can't let these thieves go, but at the same time, they can't let a whole nation be ravaged by a disease if they can stop it. Because of that, Dick and Barbara end up cooking up one hell of a scheme. Double Dare is a duo act, and well, they're going to trick the bad guys into thinking they still are. Barbara, also being a young, beautiful, athletic, redheaded woman, decides to just slip on into Aleki's costume. This way, the vaccine will remain safe, and Nightwing and the others will have the upper hand when it comes to rescuing Margot. Barbara has way too much fun with this situation too, and is sure to ask Dick, hey, what do you think of my new costume? But you know, Dick, he's a smart guy. He knows that's a trap. Things end up taking a major turn when our heroes come under fire and their train derailed by a group of corporate mercenaries. They end up grabbing Barbara, thinking she's the other part of Double Dare, while Dick and Aleki are forced to escape. We get maybe my favorite panel of the entire book, wherein we see Dick crashing through the reflective glass of an office building. But this isn't just any office building, this is apparently the office from the TV show The Office, by which of course I mean the American office, which I have only really seen via clips and memes on the internet, and not the British office, which I have actually seen all of. Be sure to tell me how right or wrong I am for that life choice down in the comments section below, because I know you're going to, and it's good for the algorithm. It's while getting to spend all this extra time together, Aleki is actually very surprised in Nightwing for willing to go to bat for her and her sister like this, especially considering not that long ago they were actively working as hired muscle for Tony Zuko. But hey, that's just sort of the good, moral, upstanding dude Dick Grayson is. He doesn't hold grudges because he knows life is too short. By the time Nightwing actually makes it to where they're holding Barbara, she's managed to rescue herself and Margot. Our heroes ready themselves for a big fight, however, it's this time around, it's the bad guys who flip the script on them. The PR system ends up calling Dick Grayson to the office of the head of Shelton Pharmaceuticals, who, in a surprise twist I actually feel dumb I didn't call earlier, is actually revealed to be Lyle Shelton, aka the civilian persona of supervillain Heartless. Nightwing and Heartless have actually clashed a bunch since this Tom Taylor series began, but this is actually the first time Dick is meeting him out of the costume, so obviously he only recognizes him as a shitty bully from his youth who has become an even shittier adult. Once again, poor Nightwing ends up finding himself in a rather awkward position. Obviously, Lyle here is as dirty as the day is long, but sadly nothing he's done so far is actually illegal. Oh sure, withholding life-saving medicine in exchange for high-profit markups is certainly immoral, but there's no law against it, even though there really should be. Dick Dick is quick to bring up the mercenaries that attacked him and Batgirl and also derailed that train, but as Lyle is quick to say, hey, they were just hired security professionals, they don't work for me anymore, I fired them 20 minutes ago. And as far as Double Dare goes, hey, they're thieves, they stole from me, right? Who are the authorities going to believe? Let's call them right now, or maybe you can just leave and pretend none of this happened. Nightwing is indeed allowed to leave without a fight, but it is a bittersweet ending to say the least, but there is something of a silver lining. The Double Dare sisters actually did manage to escape, meaning that Vlavia probably will get its vaccine. And because Dick really wants to send a message and stick it to this Shelton guy, he's going to be putting his own fortune behind more vaccine research to make sure that he can't hold people up anymore. And just as a real cherry on top of that sundae, Barbara says that she's thinking about keeping this costume, so, you know, there's probably a lot of fun things they could do with that. And so that was Nightwing issue number 105, everyone, and overall this was another really solid entry in a really solid series that manages to move above and beyond just a simple gimmick for a one-off issue. Obviously, comic writing is so much of a shared process, and I like that Tom Taylor as a writer isn't afraid to give the reins over to Redondo, the artist, and just kind of let him go nuts for an issue. In fact, between this and that one-take issue from a couple volumes back, this is kind of becoming a trend in this series, and I wonder what they're going to do next to try and top themselves. Maybe a silent issue or one of those issues that happens out of sync. From a characterization and growth perspective, I continue to really enjoy seeing Dick and Barbara fight side by side, live together, love together. You know, it's just good, solid stuff, especially when other superbooks are actively breaking up their long-standing couples. It's nice that Nightwing can be a port in that particular storm. Also, big props for how they chose to reintroduce Heartless in this issue. He's always been the overarching villain since this book began, but he was gone for so long I actively forgot about him for a minute. And now not only is he back, but he's actively showing that he can be just as much of a threat to Nightwing out of his costume as he is in it. Overall, I'd give this one a very positive 8.5 out of 10. Nightwing keeps winning, what more can I say?
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.